You saw the thumbnail. You still clicked on the video. You see the picture right in front of you, Torrez Finney, and you're still here. You're wondering, is this a joke? Is Torrez Finney really the prospect of the week for UFC 325? He can't be. The guy who landed 4 significant strikes in his last fight, this is the guy I'm supposed to pay attention to this week. The guy who's 5'7" at 185 is the guy who's going to be making waves in the division in the future. This must be a bad dream. What's happening? Let me assure you, you are not sleeping. This is not a bad dream. Torrez, the Punisher Finney, is the prospect of the week for UFC 325, and let's go through the reasons why. So let's just deal with the elephant in the room right away. Was Torrez Finney's last fight objectively the worst fight of 2025? Probably. Would we have all been better off not seeing it if they just never aired it because it was a piece of trash? Yeah, but we can't hold that against him now. That's in the past. We got to look forward to the future. Now, I'm sure a lot of you just can't get past the significant strike stats from Torrez Finney's last fight. And if you aren't aware, let me educate you. Torrez Finney landed 4 significant strikes across the entirety of 15 minutes in his previous fight. That's right, 1.33 strikes every 5 minutes or every round. And you're probably thinking, how on earth can Torrez Finney have won a fight when he only landed 4 significant strikes? The answer is simple. Torrez Finney knows the scoring criteria better than you do. Torrez Finney knows that control time is much more highly valued by the judges than doing damage to your opponent. All Torrez Finney has to do is control someone, and as long as he lands 1 significant strike per round, he's got the win in the bag, baby. And to prove my point, take a look at the numbers on the screen here. 11 wins and 0 losses. All Torrez Finney knows how to do is win. He's not going to let something like significant strikes and damage make him lose a fight to Robert Valentine. A lot of people think that Malkoun, with his greater UFC experience, is going to have some kind of crafty vet advantage over Torrez Finney. But what you're not paying attention to is Torrez Finney had 3 Dana White Contender Series fights, and he won all 3 of them, obviously, because he's undefeated. He's practically 4-0 in the UFC at this point. He's got his feet more than wet, and he's ready for Jacob Malkoun this weekend. And speaking of Mr. Malkoun, in case you don't remember, his last fight was nearly 2 years ago. His last fight was against Andre Petroski, who's not that great. And yes, Malkoun did win, but Petroski knocked himself out. And before knocking himself out, Petroski had won round 1 on all 3 of the judges' scorecards. So it's Malkoun who's going to be in for a rude awakening Saturday night. Looking again at the numbers on the screen, particularly the finishes, you can see Torrez Finney has 7 KOs and 1 submission. 8 of his 11 fights have been finished. He's typically a finisher, so his going to a decision with Robert Valentine, a horrible fighter, was out of the ordinary, which to me points to some type of injury or otherwise being compromised for that fight. Now, if Torrez Finney really wasn't injured in his last fight, then the man is a lot smarter than I give him credit for, because the only other explanation is he intentionally underdelivered against Robert Valentine so that in his next fight, he could overdeliver and wow the masses. Think about it. It's pure genius. If you set the expectations so low by having objectively the worst fight of 2025, then doing anything positive or entertaining in your next fight is just going to jump off the charts. I mean, think about it. If you go out for pizza and your friend tells you, this is the best pizza I've ever had, get ready to have your mind blown by how good this pizza is. If the pizza is just good, you're going to be let down even though you had good pizza. But if you just go out for pizza and your friend's like, hey, I know a pizza place, it's all right, we'll get it, and the pizza's really good, you're going to be super impressed, and then you're going to have a new favorite pizza place. And Torrez Finney is going to be your new favorite pizza place after this weekend. Going back to the numbers on the screen, there's another very important number here. Age 27. Torrez Finney should be making leaps and bounds in terms of improvement. This is not going to be the same guy we saw last year. This is going to be a new breed of Torrez Finney. The Punisher is going to come and punish Jacob Malkoun to remind everyone he's not the guy from 2025. Now, the last number on the screen here that I've been delicately dancing around is Torrez Finney's height. Some of you may be wondering, is that a typo? There's no possible way this guy is 5'7" and fighting in the middleweight division. But my friends, you have not been lied to. Torrez Finney is a short tank of a man who saw the meta build at 185 and said, hold my beer. This guy said you have to be over 6 foot to be 185. Challenge accepted. This guy is going to do it his way and nothing's going to stop him. Torrez Finney is trailblazing the way for short guys at heavier divisions. He has a can-do attitude and can't be told otherwise. any challenge you put in front of him, he will find a way to win because he is a winner. And if you don't believe me about can-do attitudes and challenge-accepted personalities, let me tell you a little story about a guy from Brazil who was sitting in a bar, minding his own business, where some UFC champion came across the TV and started yapping, talking trash. Well, that guy decided to get himself in the UFC and take that champion's belt, and that guy was Alex Pereira. Torrez Finney and Alex Pereira are two guys cut from the same cloth. And if you don't believe me, just wait till this weekend, because Torrez Finney is not going to punish the viewers like he did last time. He's going to punish Jacob Malkoun this Saturday night at UFC 325.